Hi, my name is Mr. Walk. I'm from ASIJ, and I'm here to show you how to use exam.net. We use this for our exams in our classes sometimes, but also for placing new students to ASIJ as well. So check it out, and let's see how it works. So first of all, your instructor, your proctor, will give you a code that you can use to put in exam.net. So you just put that in. It'll ask you for some information to start off with. I'll just put in something random. And that one's been used already. Let me try another one. Okay, let's try that. Once you get in, you're going to see that there's different features over here on the left that you can use. Sometimes some of those will not be turned on. It's kind of up to the teacher to decide which of these tools will be available to you. You have the test at the top here in PDF format, so you can just scroll up and down with that. And your answers should be written down at the bottom. This bar right here, you can move up and down to kind of see more of the test or more of the writing area, whichever you like. You can see the first question here. I just made up a fake exam, obviously, but this first question is multiple choice, so you might just be writing like number 1 is B, and then continuing number 2 is whatever, right? So that's multiple choice would be easy. But if you get something like a free response question, there's multiple ways you can answer these things. How to write them out and get them into the answer document here before you submit it. So let's look at the features. So we got a calculator over here, which you could use to your advantage, but a lot of times it will allow you to use your own calculator at home, so you could just use that. We have GeoGebra, which maybe if you're doing some geometry things might be useful. Whenever you use these tools, usually there's like a take a picture or save the file into your document over here on the right. So if you do something with one of these tools, that's what you want to do. There's Desmos, which I'll show you in a second, and then the drawing tool as well. Okay, but then you can go back to show exam. There's more as well. Okay, so let's do the number 2 problem. This is write the equation of a line that's perpendicular to y equals 4x minus 5 and goes through the point 4, 1. So I could, if I wanted, like if the teacher just wants you to write the answer, you could just write it out, negative 1/4 x, and then you'd have to calculate it. You could do it on your own on paper or whatever, and then just put in the answer. That might be fine, but maybe they want you to show that your work. So you could just say something, do something like this, and then maybe continue and show how you're putting your numbers in to show your understanding. Let me type this out. So we're looking for B, and then I would solve that and get 2 for my B, and then have to put it back in my equation and end up with the same thing, right? So same idea, same answer, but I'm showing more work. There is another way to show more work here on the left and show equations or write equations or expressions. Right here is an expression button. So if you hit that, it'll open up, and you can do the same thing basically, but it's going to allow you to have a lot more tools here. Square roots and fractions, and there's a pi button and all kinds of little things, right? So maybe I want to do a fraction for my answer here. And whoops, didn't want all that. 4 on the bottom, and then x plus 2. There we go. And then you just click down here, and it should pop in. So there it is. You could do all these pieces that same way. It looks a little nicer, but we understand this part as well. So either way is fine. The third option of doing that would be using the drawing tool. You can come up here, and it's got a pen. You could just write what you're doing. If you have a writing pad or something, it'd be great, but most people don't, right? So I'm just using my trackpad on my laptop, and it's a little cumbersome, and it doesn't look very nice. But if it gets the job done, we'll accept it. It's no problem. We understand that this isn't a perfect little process. So you could write your things out, come up with your answer, show your work on here. This is a good, if you're doing graphs or drawing things out or maybe something more complicated, this might be a good place to use it. You want to shade things in on a graph or something. You never know if you're doing stats or something. But anyway, once you do that, make sure that you save it. So right up here, save. But it has other tools, polygon tool and lines and eraser and, rectangles, circles and stuff, and ellipses. So there's lots of tools up there you could use to create and draw things. But hit save, and when you hit save, it'll show you what it looks like, and you just say, okay, and that will then go into your exam. So if I say show exam, I can go back to where I was. So now I got 3 different versions in there, right? I could use the Desmos maybe. You could also, another thing is using scan solution. So let's say you're writing it out and on paper on your own. So you can write it all out by hand using your pencil or pen on paper. And then you need your phone, and you can't see me right now, but well, you can see that. I'm going to take my phone and go to my camera, and I'm going to, right here, if I say scan solution, if you look at the scan solution, I click that, it'll give me a QR code. So I'm going to use my phone, and I'm going to go up to this QR code, and then hopefully my phone will recognize it, right? Which, if it does, great. Oops, I was having trouble there. Come on. Exactly. Let me come back to it. There we go. Okay, should come up. So once you get your QR code to come up, my phone's gonna, I don't know if you can see that, but it's gonna come up and show me like to scan solution. It'll say down here at the bottom, scan solution. So if I hit scan solution, I can photocopy it. Here's my cat and my hat. Let me take a picture of my hat. Great. And I'll say okay. When I do that on here, I'm saying okay. It'll say, do you want to upload it? Yes, I'd like to upload that. So it's coming through now on the screen. It'll give me a code. You just type in that code. My code is 061. And as soon as I typed it in, there's my picture of my hat. I say okay. I can go back to my exam, and there's the picture of my hat. But for you, it'd be your written out solutions, right? So you can add any kind of picture, graph, anything right in there that was handwritten. Okay, so that's a really nice feature. And then, yeah, let's try this third question real quick. So this one says find the intersection point between the two equations, y equals negative 2x plus 8 and y equals 2x plus 4. And it says show your method algebraically and then verify graphically. So let's say, you can keep going here, right? So let's say I've already done the solution to this. Like I've done one of these methods, either I've written it out or I use the equation tool or whatever, and I've shown my work on how to get the answer. I'm not going to do it again, but I think the answer comes out to be 1/6, let's say. So you've shown all your work, blah, blah, blah. You get your answer and you want to verify it. So you can go to Desmos and this will graph things out. Whoops, I got to go back and get the equation. What was the equation? Negative 2x plus 8. So I'll just type that in and hit enter, and then it'll graph that automatically for me. I can go back and forth, that's totally fine. And then this says 2x plus 4. So back into Desmos, 2x plus 4, hit enter, and then I got my two lines. I can see right here that 1 and 6 is my intersection point. There's a picture tool here, there's a save tool here. I think if you just hit picture, it'll say, do you want to put that in? And I'll say, yeah, I want that in my writing area. So it'll take a picture for me and put it in there. Oh, I put it in the wrong place. I'm sure I can move it though. Yeah, I can move this down to where it needs to go. It's still there. Okay, and then once you're kind of done with that, then you can submit. Right, I got this where I want it now, finally. And that's my verification. You could even write like, oh, I see the intersection is at 1/6, right? That kind of thing, or whatever. So just trying to get you to see the different tools that you can have. If you ever have questions, your proctor should be there. You can hit this teacher chat and you can talk to your teacher during the exam. And then when you're all done, you got it the way you want it on this form. Everything that you need, that you want to submit, needs to be seen here on this page. Once you're satisfied, then you can come over and hit the submit exam, and then you're done. Submit, and you're done. Okay, let us know if you have any questions.